Yahoo Fantasy Baseball Tucson Toros League action Week 9. We're going to take a look at Jimmy Dugan taking on Derek Lowe equals Cheater. This one fell to Jimmy Dugan, 6-4 in a close battle. Dugan picked up the win here, moves to 50, 36, and 4 on the year, while Derek Lowe equals Cheater is now 33, 50, and 7. Jimmy Dugan takes the series lead all-time against Cheater, 2-1. They faced off 3 times in league history, with Dugan winning 2 of those. While Cheater's winning streak that team was very proud of falls at 2 weeks with wins. So the win streak cut very short. Jimmy Dugan set season lows in homers this week, while Derek Lowe equals Cheater set a season high in runs and a season high in RBIs to go with a season low in strikeouts. For Cheater, this was the 5th week with this was the week where the 5 weeks of double-digit home run production ended. Only 9 homers for Derek Lowe equals Cheater this week. And again, no saves for Cheater. 8 of the first 9 weeks of the season to open the season, no saves recorded. On offense, Cheater was able to take 4 out of 5 categories, so a decisive offensive victory for Cheater, but lost that stolen bases category, wound up being the difference because pitching was a clean sweep for Dugan. None of the battles in any of the categories were really that close, though. Derek Lowe equals Cheater used just 9 players on the offensive side. 6 of them hit homers. 9 players had 2 or more runs. 3 players had 6 or more. Ryan Zimmerman, he had 9 runs himself. 9 players had at least an RBI. 5 of those had 5 or more. Mike Napoli, he had 8 RBIs with 2 homers and a .333 average for the week. 4 players hit over 300, while 4 players hit 200 or worse, so those kind of canceled each other out. Hanley Ramirez, the team's clear all-star, he only hit 185 for the week, had 2 stolen bases. The rest of the team produced just 1 stolen base. Adam Lind also was a disappointment for Cheater. He hit .087 for an average that week, or in Week 9 play. Jimmy Dugan, meanwhile, had just 3 players hit homers, just 1 player with 5 runs or more, just 2 players with more than 2 RBIs. Ryan Howard was one of those. He had 7 RBIs to go with 1 homer. Just 4 players managed to hit over 300 for the week. 5 players hit 200 or worse. So the offense is not clicking for Dugan right now. Matt Wieters is a big part of that. Wieters is really not playing a whole lot. Being moved in and out of the lineup with some injuries, getting a lot of extra rest for the Orioles for God knows why. But Wieters only produced 1 run and had an average of .071 for the week. That's just terrible. Pitching was a completely different story, though. Wholesale changes for the Dugan roster. Jimmy Dugan cut C.J. Wilson, Brian Matus, and Jose Contreras this week, so that was very publicly noted. That team picked up John Axford from the Milwaukee Brewers to try to shore up the bullpen. Axford was able to produce a save and didn't give up a run in the week. Mixed results from the rest of the squad, though. The departing C.J. Wilson was able to pick up a win before he was cut, but it had an ERA of 5.4. Picked up John Eli this week. He's been on a real hot streak for the Dodgers, but he didn't win this week and had an ERA of 7.2. Meanwhile, sore spot Joel Pinheiro, who has not been very good to open the season, he actually picked up a victory, had 7 strikeouts, but threw in a 6.43 ERA, so that didn't help the cause either. Brian Fuentes continued to struggle for the Angels bullpen and for Jimmy Dugan's bullpen. He was able to get a save, but had an 18 ERA and a 3 whip. Meanwhile, 4 pitchers for the Dugan squad were able to manage a 0.00 ERA. 3 of those pitchers picked up victories, and that team didn't get to use one of the top pitchers in the league right now, Carlos Silva, all week. Silva didn't have a start in the week at all, and that actually could have been devastating to Dugan, but the rest of the squad did what they needed to do to pick up the sweep in the pitching side. Meanwhile, Derek Lowe equals Cheater used just 7 pitchers all week. Got a win from Tyler Clippard, but Cole Hamels had a 40.5 ERA and a 6 whip. That goes with Gavin Floyd, who had a 20.25 ERA and a 4.13 whip. So those 2 pitchers were terrible. Putting that aside, though, next week, Week 10 action, Jimmy Dugan is now third in the standings, just 7.5 games out of first. Going to be taking on one of the lower teams in the league, Lucky. Those two teams faced off twice last year, with Lucky picking up the loss in that one. While Derek Lowe equals Cheater is now 14th in the standings, 2.5 games out of 12th. Remember, top 12 postseason play, so this team is still very much in touch with the opportunity to see some postseason action. Going to be taking on Androids. Androids actually sits 12th in the standings right now, so a big matchup for Derek Lowe equals Cheater to try to turn momentum in that team's favor. Those two teams faced off twice last year and split their series 1-1.